Anticipated congressional hearings on UFOs taking place this week on Capitol Hill.
It's the first hearing on the topic in more than 50 years. Pentagon officials telling the committee that the danger of unidentified aerial phenomenon is very real for military aircraft and potentially for our national security. And intelligence reports released last year counted 144 sightings of flying objects that U.S. officials could not identify. Lawmakers were shown several video clips of objects that the Pentagon says they cannot explain. Joining us now to talk more about the hearings this week and UFOs in general, Jeremy Corbell, an expert on UFOs. Jeremy, great to talk to you again. And your name came up in the hearing, really near the beginning of the hearing, because of all these videos you have released that were leaked to you.
Absolutely. I obtained and released military film, Pentagon confirmed UFO videos. You know, regarding UFOs, what was once science fiction, John, it's now science fact. The public UFO hearings, which by the way were the first in over 50 years, were about UFO transparency. It was about reducing stigma so that proper reporting can occur. There's no excuse anymore, John. There's no excuse for like a data poor perspective because we're living in a data-rich reality when it comes to UFOs.
Yeah, we've got a lot out there. Jeremy, were you satisfied with what you heard yesterday? Because it seems like we're barely scratching the itch here, and the Defense Department people are kind of coy about all this.
Of course, they're coy about it. We're trying to pry open the information. The public is, you know, look, I am satisfied, and it's the beginning. It's the start. We have multi-sensor data, multi-platform footage that I released with George Knapp, and everything corroborates the eyewitness testimony from our weapons platforms. So we are reducing stigma, and we're living in a world now that includes the UFO reality, the UFO presence on planet Earth.
Jeremy, does it concern you that military people had to leak this stuff to you because they are afraid of being labeled kooks and nutcases if they take their footage and release it to their superiors?
It's more than that. Yeah, I'm concerned. The whole point is that the chain of command is broken. It's not that they're going to be seen as kooks. It's that maybe it will not get to who needs it within the Department of Defense. So utilizing me, it gets out there, and then the Department of Defense is grateful in a lot of ways that they get to see that footage. They didn't have it before I made sure it got to them.
So, Jeremy, we have kind of crossed the Rubicon now on this whole thing, where the Defense Department that was once very defensive about this whole issue, they are now openly admitting they are seeing things in our skies that they cannot explain by our current understanding of physics.
That is correct. It is verified that UFOs are real. They're physical objects, that they are machines, that they outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform our greatest weaponry, that they can turn on and off our nuclear weapons, that we don't know where they come from.
Jeremy, we talked about this in our last interview on Newsmaker Saturday. I've got to circle back again. To date, we have no evidence, at least in this committee, that any of these have crashed or that we have recovered parts of these aircraft. Do you buy that, or do you think that stuff has been recovered?
Correct. No, we do have recovered craft, whole craft. That was something that was not only obfuscation and held, hopefully, for the closed-door congressional briefings. If not, though, it was a lie. We do have not only materials, metamaterials, we do have craft from unknown origin that is more technologically advanced than anything we've ever created. That was a lie if they said that and meant that in that way. So let's see what happens next, John, but I'm very optimistic for the future.
Okay, at the threat of opening Pandora's box, was there anything on board these craft that you say we have recovered?
That is what witness testimony tells us, that there were bodies of people. Now, when you say people, we don't know where they're from. They don't look exactly like us, but that is what the reports over decades corroborate. So I am as curious as you. Where are UFOs from? Who made them? What's the technology? Who flies them? And what is their intent?
Okay, but it's not Russia, China, or the U.S.
Correct. So we have ruled out 100%, and you've been told that it is not our dark or black technologies, and that we have ruled out other nations that we know of. So that's a big problem. That's a national security issue.
No, that's true. We need to get to the bottom of it. Jeremy Corbell, I always appreciate the relationship. It goes back a number of years, and you know, people used to think we were out of our mind when we talk about this, and now a lot of people are talking about it. So it's great to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me. This is so important. Thank you for covering it.
You got it. Jeremy, thank you. Jeremy Corbell.